Okay, so we're getting ready for another new build now. So just to show you some of the parts that we're going to be working with. This is going to be our body, and it's going to be a multi-ply body. And we've got some sapele here, then we've got some maple, we've got some granadillo, and we've got a veneer of quilted maple, and some more granadillo, another piece of maple, and another piece of sapele. So that's going to make up our body. It's going to be a nice multi-ply. And just to show you, this will be a Les Paul type shape. So we'll end up with something like that. So you'll see we'll have this nice decorative stripe all the way down the centre, visible all the way on the back of the body. On the top of the body, we're going to try and use this piece of Bubinga veneer on top. That should look quite nice. So we'll see this from the top, and you'll see the multiply on the back. And we've got this neckline around that we're going to use. I think this is off an old Les Paul Jr. of some kind. The only problem with it is it seems to be made of maple, and we just scraped off some of this paint, so it won't be the exact colour we want, so we may end up staining it or perhaps painting it or something like that. Also, the binding on this is a kind of off-white that we don't particularly like, so we're going to take the frets out and take that binding off, and we'll replace it with some of this cream binding, which we'll also do around the edge of the body. And we don't have our hardware yet, but the hardware is going to be all gold. Gold pickups, gold bridge, gold tailpiece, etc. And we're probably also going to put a veneer of this Bubinga over the top of the headstock as well. So we'll start to get cracking on this, and we'll bring you along for most of the project. So we're going to start gluing up our body blank, and we're going to do it in several sections. And the first section we're going to do is the centre stripe here. So we said we've got our maple, granadillo and maple veneer making up the centre here. So we're going to glue all these together, get them clamped up, and when that's done we'll take our other two sapele pieces and we'll put the whole thing through our thickness planer to make sure they're all exactly the same thickness, and then we can glue up the final body blank. So we'll just start now. We'll get all our glue on and we'll start to glue up these various different pieces.
Days later.
So here's our piece now. We've taken it out of the clamps, so you can see how uneven it is on the top there. So what we're going to do next is we'll pass this through our planer thicknesser, so we'll get all the edges all nice, smooth and flattened out. And then we'll do the same with our piece of sapele here. We're just going to chop these down next, and then once we have all three sections to the same thickness, then we can glue the whole thing up. So that's our two pieces of sapele cut down to a much more manageable size, and we've just drawn on roughly our Les Paul style shape onto it. So as we said, next what we're going to do is we'll pass our centre section through our thickness planer, get it nice and flat, get it down to the same thickness as the two pieces of sapele. Then we'll put all three through the thickness planer, just to take off a small section on the top and just get all three pieces completely even and smooth with each other, and then we can glue them all up. So as you've just seen, we've just passed all 3 pieces through our thickness planer, and it's all completely nice and flat here, and we just have them sitting on top of some clamps here just to keep everything level. But what we're going to do next is we'll flip up these pieces and we'll get the 3 of them all glued up together, and then once that's done we can just give the surface another quick clean up and we'll have our body blank prepared and ready to go. Okay, so we're onto our glue up now. So we're just going to put glue on both these surfaces and on our center piece as well, and we'll get it all clamped up. Jesus, Tom.
No, I'm more than happy with that.
Thank you very much, Tony. You didn't need to do that, but thanks.
Yeah, no.
You're kind of slosh now. So we've got our 3 pieces here now, and we just get them all together now, and we can start to close up our clamps. So we'll just give them a slight rub backwards and forwards. Creates a kind of a suction effect and helps draw everything together. So that is our body blank all glued up and clamped up. So we just have these extra clamps on the end to stop any up and down movement. So we'll leave that glued up and we'll give that a couple of days and come back to it.